FXBros.
Yo, what's up, people? We are back. Are we back? Yeah, we back. Sunday. It is Sunday. And we are going to take a look at these markets, get prepped for the new week. Currently, what I'm looking at right now is, if we look at the daily, we pull up on other charts, you'll see this weird ass daily close we had on Friday. And we're trying to make sense of it all. It looks as if this couldn't break. We had a strong support right here. We couldn't break through, even though we got clear traffic to the left. If we get a bullish engulfing on this daily, I would say, looking at this range, especially if we close above 64.32, which we are about 20 pips away. If we close above there for the daily close, we should continue higher. And I think this was just a fake out, because a lot of people thought we were going to continue sales, especially after we sold off way back in April. We thought this May was going to sell out with this bearish engulfing we got at the top. Now, granted, it would be great for the hedge funds and large institutions to trade this lower, because a lot of liquidity, a lot of people caught bias here, catching bias here, stops below here. So if they can sweep this, take everybody out, and potentially trade down to a deep enough level to entice people into sales, then we could build another buy position, another leg up. And I think we should target, as far as what we can drop to, look at this area right here. It's not a big zone, but it's something. Other than that, judging off how that daily closed, I was looking at the range that it left behind. And you can see that on this time frame. So if you can see, none of the hours, it's going to be the first hour to break out of this range right here. Bam, so we just got to break out. Chances are when we get a continuation higher, who knows? Who knows? We have been on the 15-minute. You see, we broke out. If I zoom out, you'll see this range is kind of coincided with this previous range we had Thursday afternoon until we broke out at 9. What's this? 28. So yeah, 9. Broke out of this at 9:30. So we will monitor that. We are coming off a bullish engulf another 15-minute, but like I said, it's coming out of this range, so we would definitely need to have some kind of trade high and pullback to confirm this breakout. Other than that, it could easily trade right back into this and do what I said previously. But let's go ahead and mark up the charts for the week. As you can see, we got our previous weekly highs for this week. That was the previous week. Now we have this week, which is the previous week. And we are going to mark this up to previous weekly high. Previous weekly high. We got the previous weekly low. We're currently here. The 19th. Just tomorrow's close. Previous weekly low. Just right there. Bam. And then we're going to do the range. So I'm going to take out the Phillips, Fibonacci, and go here to here. And bam. Got our range right there. Which is at 64.29. So we go back to the 1 hour. You'll see we're currently at I would say if anything as far as going higher, we could attack the trend line that we still trying to play around with. We did break back into it around, what's that, the Thursday, that's like the first full week of May. And Wednesday the 7th, tapped up here, Trump low for the inauguration. And then since then we sold off. Didn't take out highs again. If you look at that on the daily, sold off after touching that, but still holding the support at 63.55, and then we popped back up. Didn't take out those highs, so we kind of been in the range, and that's what I was looking at on the 1 hour and the 15-minute. So let's put this over here. So you can see some shit. Previous weekly high, previous weekly low. I'm gonna monitor that right there. Take out these fibs already good. So yeah. Overall, we're looking for a sell-off into these lows. Hopefully, this will be a fake out, and we can trade back down to the bottom of this range, down at 664 flat. I'm just gonna call it. And I don't think we took out last week's low. Let me see. This is Monday, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday, Friday. So yeah. Tuesday, Monday. That's Monday. And then we had, so Monday started that off. What's that? Let me see, hold up, look at the week. So this is the previous week. We got our low here. But then while that was being formed, this actually did take out the low. Created a double bottom from the week of, say, April 28th. And last week, in 2 weeks, created a double bottom. But as the previous week was formed, it didn't take out the highs of that previous week before, which is the week of May 5th. So it's anybody's game. Got a lot of rejection wicks up there, and they are trending lower. I'm kind of leaning more towards on buys. I'm gonna keep it all the way G. I mean, still coming from October, we still haven't traded lower. Like the only thing we did trade lower was this April 7th for the tariff news. Other than that, market was trending back up with the potential to fill all this range from October last year. So I still feel we are bullish, but I feel like to go bullish, we need to go bearish. We need to get as many people involved as we can to go bearish until that is a created fake out. In anticipation of this being a fake out, I did take sales up here at 64.30. Right now, we're currently at 64.11. That's it. No, I'm sorry. 64.13. I'm tripping. 64.13. I said 64.30 like a. So we'll see what that looks like. So this is about 22 pips of profit we could get if we trade all the way down to the bottom. Like I said, we'll see if they turn this into a fake out scenario. Should be good to go. Let's see what the dollar looks like. Let's go to the 4 hour. Let's see. Dollar traded back into this range that we were in. In this range for a good little minute. Broke out to the upside. Beginning of the year. Filling in this gap from November 11th, 2022. November 10th, 2022. Filled that gap in January, second week of January, started selling off on the dollar from there, from a high of 110, 109. And we've been trading down. The dollar's been falling. Recently, though, we did trade up into filling this gap, and since then we've been selling off. So this is a continuation. We will see a higher AU, and we could get into buys. I see the same kind of thing if I look at the 4 hour, if I can consolidate another 1 hour on the dollar right around here. We definitely need to see what could happen. Delete that. Yeah, I want to move this. Yeah, I like that. I like that. So we're looking for a breakout on the dollar. It'll break below, trade it back in, bounce, 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 trade it back up, and actually, at the bottom though, that range, multiple touches. Yeah, so we're gonna look at that range for the dollar, see if we're gonna break above or out. 10 above 101 and below 100.5. and that will determine how far we can take this AU. Like I said, looking at the bigger picture on the daily, let's see what I'm talking about with the support right here. And what do you got? And there you go. So I'm thinking a previous weekly low sweep, add buys down here at 63.40 and ride that wave for the whole summer, probably the rest of the year. As the dollar continues to trade lower. Let's look at other pairs, look at some of the indices. Let's see, we got 10-year yield is currently at 4.4. S&P kind of had a weak Friday. The last bullish push we had out of this range, the breakout was Thursday on the 15th of May. That was on the 4 hour. Let's go to daily. Yeah, 15th. See this double high breakout. Still think we bullish on S&P. Stock market should continue up. Same thing for US 30 and the NASDAQ. NASDAQ the only one that might show some signs of pulling back, but other than that, I still think we good on long. German 30 still looking good. Pulling back right now on a daily, good engulf. Not sure, but it's coming off a bullish engulfing, so hopefully, I would say if anything, we shouldn't come 50% of that candle daily. So this sell-off at max should come down to 23.55 at max. But that's like, we don't want it to come down there. But if it does, we would look to reject that area. And we'd be looking to reject this area and push higher. Yeah, I'm not thinking we're going to do that though. Let's see, gold. 32.50 was still my price. As you can see, we bounced off this trend line twice. A rejection off this bullish candle and this bearish candle. So this trend line is definitely being respected. If that's the case, we should go higher, but that's all determined on how the investors are flowing their money into gold futures versus the stock market S&P. Because I would say it's rare to have an extreme boom in the equities, and also the same thing in gold. Usually gold is the safe haven when the equities and the stock market is not doing so good. So we'll have a pullback like we did for the beginning of the year, and gold went on a run, as you can see by this trend line. Gold went on a run. And I can pull up S&P, and you'll see the opposite. Let me start January right here. So we started January here, took our little few highs and then sold off. But the bigger picture is that ain't nothing but a stupid ass wick on a monthly. God, last time we had a wick like that was COVID. So that was COVID. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. And it traded right back down. Damn. S&P. Who else some great buys? Wow. And whoever got into the stock market April 1st, fucking April Fools. These niggas playing. They put an April Fools on us on the S&P. If you look at that, this week started Tuesday, April 1st. And if we go to the weekly, you'll see the gap down and rejection on April 7th. So that whole first week right here, March 31st and April 1st, yeah, that was a fake out. That sell-off was a fake out. I mean, as we can see in hindsight, but son of a bitch on a monthly. That was funny. Touched it on the 7th. That's crazy. Market got jokes, man. Market definitely has jokes. This position is looking good so far. Taking sales. Sales are active for AU. See how far we can take this. So we have strong support on the daily down here at 63.60 up in that area. So if we can get it all the way down there, that's 40 pips. That's definitely doable. Definitely doable. So actually, I'm going to adjust that to that. Just that. So it's 52 pips from now. So yeah, sounds about right. Especially with a 60. Let's see what the daily look like. We got 60 pips on that daily ATR. So that would be down here. Can that daily candle? Can we have a red daily candle? Yes, we can. With all these red days, yes, we can. We can have a continuation. Kind of gonna have a bullish engulfing on Monday if we close like that, but it could trade down. Very much so. Yep, so we'll continue lower. If we get more selling pressure early in the week, we'll look at the news and see. I know we got some heavy news on Monday. So let's see. We're gonna look at the news right quick. So we got Chinese yuan news about to come out. Not really gonna affect us too much, but tariff-wise, it could. We'll see what the unemployment rate, retail sales, industrial production is in 38 minutes. But for us, we got Monday news. And tomorrow night, 9:30, interest rate decision for AUD, and we're looking to cut. Previous was 4.1. The consensus is they're going to cut it to 3.85. Let's see if they cut that. Let's see. Let's see. Usually happen. Asking AI a question. Yeah. Happen. Rates. To the AUD USD. On my computer. I mean, my keyboard. Gotta change that. When the Reserve Bank of Australia cuts interest rates, the AUD USD exchange rate usually falls, meaning Australian dollar depreciates relative to the US dollar. Interest rates show the return on USD assets. Investors seek high yields, and rate cuts mean the stretch of assets like bonds less attractive, and less foreign capital flows out of our demand for AUD drops. So we're gonna see a sell if they cut rates tomorrow. And that news gonna come out at 9:30. And that's tomorrow night. So what can we expect? If we're gonna see a fall, we're already seeing the fall right now. Not sure how far that's gonna fall. But looking at it right now, we could very much so get another bearish engulfing on the 4-hour. We continue lower. And that would entice people into sales down here to the 63 level. And then we will start to see some bullishness. But from that bullishness, it may entice some buyers because they know the overall move is long for AUD. But when news comes out tomorrow night, because this is going to be engineered before the news, when news comes out, they'll drop it below. And then we'll start to turn bullish after that news comes out tomorrow. So let's see what's happening. Is that better?
What's happening, man?
You already know. Looking at this news we got. I'm seeing the market starting to trade down. I caught sales after that sweep smaller time frame after it broke out of that range. And after looking at news, I'm saying we got interest rate decision coming out tomorrow night at 9:30. So chances are we might engineer a sell now until tomorrow night. And typically, if Australian dollar, based on AI, what they said with ChatGPT, if Australian cut rates, that's what they expected to do tomorrow is the cut rates consensus, then AUD should fall.
Okay.
Not sure about how much, but if they do fall, we had this strong support right here at 63.60, and I could see the market falling, sweeping liquidity, and then continuing higher because the overall move is bullish. If we look at the weekly or the monthly, judging from last year October, the move is still bullish. Especially after sweeping liquidity for the Trump scare in April. When the market sold off and traded right back up. So that was a sign right there. Because if we was still in sales on AUD, we would not be at right here. We would be 61 cents right now if we were still in sales.
Facts.
So that just lets you know from that sweep down, the tariff talk, and the trader right back up. That just lets you know. Typically, after we get out all this manipulation, and we should continue high and fill up this range. Should. They don't have to do it, but we should. They could do whatever the hell they want to. Stubborn. So back at the news, like I said, tomorrow we do have CPI for Euro if you're trading EJ or EU. It's gonna be a big move at 2 a.m. That's gonna drop CPI. But like I said, for us, we got 9:30 interest rate for Australian dollar tomorrow evening. On Tuesday, no news. Wednesday, again in the evening, right when the daily candle pretty much closes at 4, we have well, hold up. Am I doing this wrong? I think I'm doing this wrong. I think I'm doing this wrong. Yeah, I'm getting it mixed up. Okay, it's past this. So interest rate decision for Australian dollar is going to come out at 11:30, not 9:30. That's my bad. I gotta realize this time is forwarded until we have daylight saving time again. When that's coming up? When do we do that daylight switch?
Should be around like end of summer, beginning of fall, I think, sometime in September.
Okay, so it's just a once a year thing,
No, it's twice. So it's
right? Don't we like flip one way
spring
and then we flip
forward
back?
and then fall back.
So when did we spring forward?
Probably like
Yeah.
February. I mean March. March.
Oh, okay. Damn. Okay. I must have didn't notice this shit. But anyway, yeah. So we have that news because USD news is still showing 6:30, and we all know that comes out at 7:30. So everything is an hour in advance. So yes, this is gonna come out at 11:30 for Australian dollar. And same thing with these. These will come out at 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. after the daily opens. Got S&P Global Manufacturing and Global Services for AUD on Wednesday night. Thursday, we already know, continuous jobless claims. S&P Global Services coming out at 8:45, and then 9 o'clock existing home sales for USD. So Thursday will be pretty heavy. Got inflation rate coming out for the yen. So any UJ trades might add some volume around, it's going to be 6:30. Friday, we have nothing but USD 9 a.m. We won't be live anyway, but we got new home sales. That'll be good to look at, see where that number is at. The percentages is crazy. Previous was 7.4. They have a consensus expectation for negative 4.7 for new home sales. Crazy. Sunday, which is weird as hell, but we got a Fed Chair Powell speech to pop off next week on Sunday at 1:40. He is,
Wow, that's crazy.
yeah, he is going crazy. 140. So yeah. So we pretty much got a decent week ahead of us. Should have some nice volume with these news releases. I'm looking forward to Monday and really Monday to pop off. I think Monday is going to set the whole trend for the week, hopefully. And if they do cut, like I said, we should see some kind of drop if they don't do the drop before the cut. They could do that. They could sell this bitch all the way off, and once news come, they could trade again lower to take our liquidity right here at 63.60, and then turn around and go higher. Because I look at this whole consolidation, I'd be like, if we look at it, it is going higher. Like the trend is going higher. It's consolidated, it's going higher. And I feel like if we was going to trade lower and eat all this up, we should have bended that shit. Like I said, this is like fresh. We just in May. It's May 16th. Man. This was last month when he was talking about the whole tariff scare. So we're not that far from it. Like I said, we should have in the first week of May, second week of May, we should have been trading lower if that was the move. But I'm not seeing that. I could see the strong support, and I know it's a lot of liquidity down here. So I would think that the markets are going to want to trade lower and entice people into sales, and then turn around and buy it back up. If you know, that's what they like to do. My little, this is liquidity down here. You see the money bags? That's liquidity. That's where the money at. But yeah, other than that, another good indicator, which would be crazy if we get a daily wick down. I know this is extreme, but just based off the news, if we get a daily wick down and then it closes back up, but that would be crazy. And closes a bullish engulfing after wicking down. I know that sounds crazy as hell, but that would be probably the best trade this year if that happened. Because I am currently selling it and trying to look to see how far we can go. But I do like this strong support, and I know a lot of people probably got their stop losses under here as they bought up. There's a lot of rejection from this area, so that is an area of interest. And we might begin the bearish engulfing on a 1 hour trade back into this range, creating and clarifying that bullish push as a fake out the previous hour. We got 10 minutes left. We got 25 minutes left. 25 minutes left. Let's see what happens on that. Yeah. But other than that, like I said, gold is kind of look like it's about to start ranging. Or just running out of steam because so much activity has been in the S&P these past week, maybe 2 weeks, but for sure past week. Everything kind of trading back into the normal pricing they've been in. So I was watching, I think Trap, his last show on last week, and he was talking about, how people are going to be spoiled, like the traders that just got into the market last week. Because a lot of people just clicked by and saw 30, 50, 60% gains in 1 week. Because, that was just the week that the market started to run up out of them lows. Like everything was on discount. It was funny when he was like, that nigga said he gonna fight anybody that said, I need a pullback to get in.
Yeah, that boy crazy. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was funny.
He said that. I was like, nah, that's real. Because it's like, when a pullback would be in front of your face, it'd just be like, all right, that's a pullback. But then when it run up, you'd be like, okay, now we in buys. Now all I need is a pullback and I could get in. Like, nah, nigga, the pullback was when you was scared, when you was looking at sales. That was the pullback. You was thinking about sales and shit. So it was funny to see that. But yeah, man, I think gold is going to. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if gold gonna have another run up to 3,500 anytime soon. It's all going to determine how affected is the volume in the equities, U.S. equities. If they drop in volume and people only was trying to ride that wave, that little extra push we had last week, then gold should continue on this run.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
it's up in the air right now because I know overall we have more stock market traders than gold future traders, and that's a fact. So there's more people buying and holding shares than buying and holding gold. So the vast majority of people would be happy to see S&P, US 30, and NAS 100 just going another run. That'll make a lot of people happy, especially retail traders. Especially retail traders. So let's see, Euro pulled back, kind of sitting in that little range. After we traded back into it on Monday, May 12th, and started to go up, created support on Thursday on the 15th, Wednesday on the 14th. We traded lower on Friday morning, it's all on the 4-hour, and now we popped back up into that little minor range, but overall still into this breakout. Since we had a breakout, was that April 10th in the morning. That breakout created support because it was resistance, but it created support. We traded back into it May 12th, and currently we are still in the range. So it would be nice after that pullback to get back into buys on Euro, but we gotta wait, be a little bit more patient. UJ, kind of the same scenario. That's basically following the dollar. So you just follow the dollar, and you follow UJ, you be A-OK. Bitcoin, a breakout of this consolidation we was in from Thursday, May 8th, all the way to Sunday, yesterday, the 18th. So a 10-day consolidated period on a 4-hour. And we just broke out the previous 4-hour, and now we trading right back into the high of that range. I would say right now would be good buys if you're looking to add buys. Unsure how far we're going to pull back on Bitcoin, but if you're looking to add buys, this is like a textbook type of situation of a pullback. I'm gonna take that back. It's not textbook. It would be more if we traded higher and then traded lower, like actually creating, that arc versus just a rejection. It's just like a quick rejection pullback that we're in right now. So highly volatile. But Bitcoin, it's good to stand above 100 grand though. That's good. We didn't trade back below 100 grand.
Yeah, it looks very, very bullish, and the talks of it is just
bullish engulfing on the
it's
daily.
just more reasons for it to keep on going up.
Yeah.
So, and it looks good technically too.
Yeah, it does. It really does. Still looking for the 2025 high of 123K.
Why 123?
Good question. We were basically, if you look at the daily and I zoom out, if you see these lines right here, I was just measuring the time frame and the distance from certain bullish pushes or key levels, and I think it was more so geared to around like what COVID did and all that shit. So I was like, this last bullish push and the high that it created coming back down to this low, like a retest. That move right there, I forgot what the percentage was, but if we can see from I think 3,000 was the low to 20, and then we had a 20 to 60. So trying to make sense of it all. You know what? Honestly, bro, I'm not 100% sure, but I know it has something to do with the previous moves and calculating that and kind of putting that on where we were currently at, maybe from this 60K to 123. So I can see that's damn near double. That's a 3x, and down here was more like a 6x. So I'm not sure. I know if I pull back up in my, but I know through some calculations we came up with 123 for a high for 2025, but I'm not sure how we got there. But I know it was from these previous ranges because I had these drawn up for a reason. So this 3K, 20K, 60K, and all the way to 123. I probably had to look back in ChatGPT history and see because I know we was doing a lot of math, so probably had to look back at that. But yeah, that's
No, I actually, yeah, can kind of just see as far as like the range or whatever. Um, but no,
and look at the
I love it.
percentage. Let me see what's the percentage. That's 500% gain. See what's this percentage? It's roughly 200% gain. That's a 100. Hmm, crazy. I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with what you call them too, like the halving. Maybe it was like around the halving times when every time it halved. Maybe. I don't know. I had to look at history, but I know we came up. It was precise. It was 123, precise. I drew it. I wrote it down. Should have put more details on how we came up with that number, but yeah, that's what it was. Go long BTC, regardless of what I got on the charts.
Yeah, that's a fact. Buy and
Ethereum,
hold.
yeah, Brian Hall. Um, XRP's still looking decent. Nothing too crazy yet. I know everybody wait for XRP to go to $100. Which it might not do. I think based on that other news article we are seeing, like a $36 or $60 XRP might be the max. Judging out the monetary supply and how currently money moves through that SWIFT payment system, and if XRP takes over that, what it can grow to with the amount of money that's moving. So anybody talking about a $110,000 XRP, they probably didn't do the math based on the availability of coins that XRP is going to even have in circulation when it's all said and done. You can't just throw shit out there like this. That's the good thing about crypto. Like it's set in stone based on the math. And with Bitcoin, with their halving periods and how you mine and all that shit, just overall, what's gonna be left in circulation? Like it's only gonna be so much in circulation, and it's gonna have a cap. Based on the monetary supply, it's going to have a cap. Nvidia, boy, that
Yeah,
right.
Nvidia been running me up, bro.
Nvidia ran from Trump's tariff talk to a current price of 136. So that's from 86 to 136, a 55% gain in a month. 55% in 1 month. You done for the year.
Look at Chewy, bro. That's one of my ones.
Chewy,
Chewy been running me.
Chewy Inc. Nice. Just now broke out of highs. Oh no, it still got some more to go.
Oh yeah.
I still got some more to go. Let me see. Let me look at the monthly. Oh my God. Chewy got a high of 120.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Let me got Alice coming to pick up some kettle corn. I'm gonna
All right.
get that bagged up real quick.
No, you good, you good. Yeah, that's crazy. Chewy CEO sells shares worth over $8 million. So he definitely cashed out.
That's a nice take profit.
Oh, nice take profit. Nice take profit. 3 days ago. We got the whole thing right here. Sumit Singh, that's the CEO of Chewy, reported selling 198,000 shares of Class A common stock on May 13th and May 14th for a total of $8 million. $40 a share to $4.60 a share, and $41. So he was trading it as it was going up, or selling it as it was going up. Following these transactions, he directly owns 2.8 million shares and indirectly owns 306,000 shares through spousal ownership. Huh. Nice. Nice. Insider trading. So if you did that on May 13th, May 14th, what does that look like? That was down, let's see, the weekly. Look at the daily. May 13 and 14. May. Oh yeah, he was selling a high. Nice. That dude is a day trader. And it's still going up though. Damn. Yeah. Not sure when Chewy had their IPO, but it looked like they did amazing during the brink of COVID. So perfect timing. Online sales for the pets. And then as interest rates crept up, they saw a decline. I guess people going back outside, didn't need to order for their pets no more. They was going to the pet store. And currently they're figuring it out from 2022 to 2024 in a nice little range and currently trading up. I guess it's all going off our earnings. Surprise, 82% negative surprise on earnings back in December 2024. They had an earnings 82% gain on March 26th. Stock didn't really move that much. Then we got another earnings on June 11th. Revenue $3 billion. 3.2 revenue was in March. And they're just looking at a flat 3. 2.8 back in December last year. August was 2.8. 2.8. 2.8. 2.7 back in December 23. 2.7. So they've been growing. Definitely been growing. Nice. Lift. Uber. TSL. Tesla. Everybody say Tesla is a meme stock. That's fun. That's actually fun. I know one thing. I did not push back down to this trend line. That was some BS. That whole sell-off. I mean, you could draw the trend line here, but it's not really connected to it. Yep. Yeah. 8 minutes left. It's already closed. So we're gonna get this bearish engulf and pop off the week. Or pop off Sunday. And we can engineer that sell. Hopefully down all the way down to 63.65. That'd be amazing. Six midnight. Oh boy. Let me take a break. Hold on 1 second. Be right back.
What was that? Oh, that's in my.
Oh.
Did you hear that? Beep, beep. Oh, that's in my Bluetooth.
Oh.
Okay. It sounded like it was out in the. Dang, it looks so good. Charles, if you bring home some salmon,
Mm-hmm.
like the salmon, you know what I'm saying? I'll make a. Oh, it ain't gonna go off. It's gonna play out with it once it starts. And just put get them out of the bag because they won't, if you just throw it in there, they may not pick it up. Yeah. No, you messed up.
Okay, 4 minutes left. 4 more minutes left. We will have this kind of close. There we go. Shut it down. Let's see where this girl at. I'll bring her down. Genghis off of Brian Irving. Let's see how far it is. Irving. Irving closes soon at 9. So she about to close. Open at 10 a.m.
You still on?
You already know. Wait for this hour to close. 3 more minutes.
Bet. All right, let me be right back. 1 second.
Location. So if we did meet up halfway, where am I? I'm way here. She there. 20. Yeah, I did put that for right there. So. Yeah.
Damn, them bears are in, huh?
Yeah, no, I was saying I rolled the dice on that trade expecting
How
a
do
fake
you
out.
do that, bruh?
Bruh, it's like they've been faking people out there all day. Like, so it's like I see the close. That's gonna make people happy for buys. And what's gonna piss them off? The market like to piss people off. Piss
So
people off.
when you get in them trade, like where your take profit be at? Like, would it be like?
I don't have one just yet. Like I'm letting the trade play out. Like if it closes out of this range under 63.98
Yeah,
below 6,400, then I'm gonna try to take that support. That if I look at the daily, because that's when I go to the higher time frame. What the higher time frame saying? We got strong support at 63.60. So I take it all the way down there if it want to go.
I got you.
Yeah,
I got you.
all the way down there if it want to go. But yeah, I'm just like, okay, I'm a take it. Now, granted, it didn't feel good taking sales all the way up there, but that's the best trades. The good trades are the ones that don't, because my risk to reward is extremely low, and I got a long range of sales I could trade. I mean, even just the current lows on a 1 hour at 63.90, I could take it to. And they number 20, 30 pips, but still, that's something. That's a lot on the AU, 20, 30 pips. Think about it, but yeah, I was just looking at manipulation. I look at the previous hour since 5 o'clock. Popped out wick rejection. Popped out wick rejection. Popped out wick rejection. One candle, we can actually get the close out of that range for the previous hour. And what are we doing now? Instantly selling from that point. Yeah, we did go a little higher, but we instantly selling. And everybody that's in sales is pissed off. That took those buys are pissed off right now. We just had news came out for something. I don't know. Oh, it was the Chinese yuan unemployment rate just came out. Retail sales, everything positive. So yeah, we're gonna ride this wave, baby. See what we can get out of it.
I
Now
love
we
it, bro.
did get a 1 hour bearish engulfing, so that's another potential signal. Only thing, it closed right in the middle of this range, so you could take that risk and sell it. I don't think. I mean, a pullback would be good, but if it's gonna pull back, it's gonna do something to piss people off. I mean, it's gonna go above where I entered at.
Yep.
You
Okay.
know, like the
Yeah.
market loves to do that. That's the only way they can make money. You know,
Yeah. There's some more money bags up there.
facts. But it's a whole lot down here. Big money bags down here. Big money bag.
How did the dollar chart look?
The dollar, if this is going to go down, the dollar should be going up, and it's not as strong. I mean, we do have this bullish engulfing, but I don't like that candle because it's too much, especially when it came from a little bit of nothing. Like, see, when I see stuff like that, I expect it to keep going like this. Some pullbacks, but to keep going like this. And the fact that the very next candle after that struggled to continue. And then not only that, looking at the hourly, look at this candle right here, and then look at the next candle. This is closing right into the what session is this? London session. This green line is all London session, and this is the what you call it? U.S. session, the purple. So soon as U.S. opened up, we started selling off. Well, I ain't gonna say it's opened up, but as soon as London closed, we started selling off. So it's stuff like that. Like, well, it didn't do it here, it didn't do it there, but it did right at the close. It started selling off. So it just be like little tidbits you could see, even like this London, New York lows. We got all these closes, and then we get a sweep below, and that's when we started buying back up, right when it swept the New York low. So it just be little bitty signs I be looking at like that get me in the markets too, besides just wholeheartedly waiting on an engulfing setup to catch buys way up here. Because I'm knowing that it's just sweeping liquidity. And if I'm going to catch buys, I want to expect it to keep going up. Even if it retests, I don't want it to retest after this next candle. I want it to keep going and then do a pullback. I know pullback right here. Like, where's it going to pull back to? My entry? Hell no. It's going to come all the way down here, at least to the middle of this range.
Facts.
You feel me? Like, it ain't go out enough for me to pull back to my entry. So, yeah.
Screen time, baby. And I don't mean fucking phone. If you haven't made, if you aren't profitable, do not trade on your phone. Don't look at the screen on the phone. Analysis on the phone is it won't
look
work.
at the hourly. Look at the hourly now, AU.
Exactly.
4 minutes, and we already done went up halfway of what we just sold off into. So people that caught sales late, like maybe at what 8:30, because they saw the move coming down. How you think they feeling right now?
And they probably sick, and they jumped in, too early on some FOMO type shit on a Sunday night.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is usually what happens. And I guarantee you that entry is probably made on their phone.
But
you open up your desktop to review, analyze, markup, all that good stuff. If you ever want to use your phone, it's for signals being and alerts happening for you to execute.
Yeah.
Your analysis should be done way ahead of those executions.
Yeah.
Sunday lives, man.
No, thanks. And like, even where I pretty much got my stops at, it's tight as hell, and there's a very high chance that I could get stopped out. Like, the market come up here now. Granted, a better stop will be above this trend line, but this trend line is a struggle point. If I look back on a daily, you'll see it more and defined. You see this red trend line that I got. It's like a wedge, but right up in here, it's kind of getting all funky. So that would be more of my that would be the real stop type shit.
Yeah.
And I'm probably gonna move it up there because really I'm just trading off of this range. I saw this on the 15-minute, 1 hour kind of, but even from this Thursday, it kind of popped out trading there, but then it kind of closed and kind of ran. So I was looking at that. We got a pop out, close above, and we started selling back into it. So yeah, it's coming back into my entry. So
Yes, we're in a choppy market when it's
yeah,
comes to AU. Forex, I would say all pairs in Forex, they all look pretty choppy.
yeah.
We in some sort of consolidation.
And what I feel is still right. It may come all the way back up and it may sell out. Like I said, overall, if they do cut rates tomorrow, AU should sell off, and hopefully it sells off enough to where they either sweeps these lows, or at least just respects the lows on the daily. All this strong support at 63.60. I'm really expecting it to continue with this move down here.
And that's tomorrow evening, right?
That's tomorrow evening. So chances are it could or could not do that, because we might get a bullish engulfing on the daily at 4 o'clock tomorrow, and that's before the news come out. Because the news come out at 11:30 tomorrow night. And the daily close, this daily close is gonna happen at 4. So yeah, we could close at bullish engulfing. It's kind of anybody's game, prior to that news release. So definitely gonna monitor this though. But yeah. They playing with people right now. But I'm gonna hold.
Yeah. You can't get played, man. Not on a Sunday.
Nah. Not on a Sunday, man. I know the manipulation. And then not only that, we in the first 9 minutes and we already running up with the hourly did in 1 whole hour. If that's true, if this run up is true, we should not only smash these highs, but go and respect this trend line in this hour. Because in the first 9 minutes, we already ran up with this whole hour did in an hour.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like
yeah.
This sale didn't happen in 9 minutes, and then it just kind of tinkered around. Nah, it kind of played, and really sold all the way down. This done traded all that shit back up in 9 minutes. That ain't real. If it is real, it's going to continue smash this high and come all the way up here in this hour. If that don't happen, now all this shit is bullshit. You probably start to see the manipulation more on a smaller time frame. You'll see how when this 15-minute candle go close, how the 5 minutes gonna close, what they're looking like. Are they starting to print indecision candles and dojis and stuff on the lower time frame, the 5 minute, because it all starts there before it gets to the daily. So yeah. But looking at the higher time frames, Friday morning, we're coming off a bearish engulfing on the 4 hour that was profitable, and right now, that sale I got into was basically like the retrace of that entry from the Friday bearish engulfing. So if you ride that sale, you kind of still okay. Probably a little nervous from that bullish push coming back into your entry, especially if you didn't take profit on Friday at 10 a.m. because when it sold off. So you kind of looking for another opportunity to take profit. So everybody is feeling it. The people who were selling since Friday is feeling it from this bullish push on Sunday. The people who bought this Sunday thinking we about to go up after seeing these sales, they feeling nervous. Like, yeah, it's consolidated. Consolidation. Nobody knows. New and news. But yeah, man, other than that, we locked in, bro.
For sure.
We're for sure locked in.
For sure.
We're gonna come back on Tuesday like we do. I think Monday. Yeah, Monday we go put we'll talk in the chat and see what the Australian dollar does as far as if they're gonna cut rates tomorrow at 11:30. So it'll be late. We might not be up. I know I'll be up, maybe not you, but try to see if we catch an update on that in the chat and see what the market reacts to. More so what the market does prior to this news. Will it engineer a sell or a buy to give this potential cut? Because the consensus saying they're going to cut this potential cut a life. Because sometimes they'll give it a life before the cut happens. So it's always good to know when news is coming out, so you can see it before it happens. But yeah, other than that, man, we're gonna be out. Like I said, we monitor this from afar, and we'll update it for the news tomorrow night, and be back Tuesday morning.
Let's get it, man.
Yeah. All right, brother. Holla at you. We'll be back on Tuesday, man.
You already know, man. It'll be easy. Protect the bag. Always. Peace.